Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a quick layout share. I have a busy day ahead of me and I have a huge mess on my desk and I apologize for that. I will clean it up when I get back from my big event today. I'm going to visit Allie in her new home. She and 3 friends got together and have rented a house. And so she's setting everything up and I'm taking her a bunch of stuff and then we're going to go out to lunch. So, and I've done some of these layouts so long ago before my trip in preparation for publishing during my trip that I may have to refer to the back to figure out what everything is. This first one is using Vicki Boutin's Fernwood, and I use the 6x8 tablet for all of these papers, including what I die cut out of, and the ephemera, and I use some fall flair from Dottie About Flair, and some seaside sequins, sea glass is what they're called. And I thought they were perfect for fall because they had this brown and gold, but they're also the blues that are in both the photo and the ephemera. So this was for Challenge Accepted and Punched Out Thursday, and it uses the Seasons #7 sketch from Scrap-A-Sketch for their 4 Seasons in 1 Month event that went on the whole month of April. And oh my gosh, how much amazing participation did they get. And there's some beautiful inspiration in those albums. So if you haven't joined them yet, Scrap-A-Sketch on Facebook has all the inspiration you'll ever need to get kickstarted on any scrapping project. And Lisa's sketches are so versatile. So there's that one. Okay, that wasn't very quick, was it? This was Mixed Media Mayhem, and I'm using Fernwood again. And the lift that we were doing was this Julie Taylor layout, and it has very subtle mixed media. I kind of made mine a little bit slightly less subtle, and I did it on a patterned paper that had some interesting like postmarks and things like that on it. But my mistake in pattern paper was that it got warped and stayed warped. But once I put it in a page protector with another page behind it, you'll never notice. So my grandkids will never notice. This was for Pink Fresh Friday, and I also did it as a lift in the hop to celebrate my good friend Sally Ann Floyd's milestone followers in Instagram. And I see a couple letters that I didn't outline here, so I have to fix that. It's amazing how many times I look at layouts after doing them, not specifically looking for mistakes, but I look at them for, to say, okay, did I use sequins? Who do I attribute this to? Who do I attribute that to? Things like that. And I never see those kinds of mistakes. And then I'm doing the layout share and they just stand out to me. So this has some flair. It's, boys posing on the beach at spring break. So what could be more fun? And that Pink Fresh background paper this is my second and last sheet of that. And I'm not sure what this is on here. That won't come off, but I use Bramble Fox Stars and a Bramble Fox Friends, but everything on here other than the Dottie Flair and the Bramble Fox acrylics, that's all from my old Pink Fresh stash. This was a fun one. It was my challenge in the Dottie About Flair Cybercrop that was weekend before last. And I used this sketch from, again, from Sikorsky Scraps, from her Scrap-A-Sketch. Let me see if I can see which sketch it is. I don't have it marked on here, but it was one of the, probably a fall sketch, and it might have been sketch number 8, I'm gonna say. That's just a guess. Anyway, my grab 5 was to have a pattern paper background, use old and new stash, so everything's pretty much old except the flare, and these sunflowers are relatively new. An envelope, and I cut an envelope right here out of some pattern paper, and I stuffed flare in it and put a stamped scary guy and border strips. I used a border strip here, and this actually was a border strip. It was the backing of a set of metallic silver skulls that I thought the white ones were kind of cool looking. The backing was cool. And paper alpha. So I glued my paper alphas onto white cardstock and fussy cut around them. So that was those. It's called Not So Scary, and I have one further down that uses some of the same supplies, and it's called Scary. And I did, oh gosh, I don't know what that goes to. This was for, it was just for fun. Okay, well that's good. And it uses a Sikorsky Scraps sketch from the seasons. Actually, it's not. It's sketch number, I think, sketch number 23 in Scrap-A-Sketch. It's not part of the event. So these will go together in my album. These photos were taken on the same day and filtered with the same filter, and I'm using, a lot of the same supplies. I added in this teal color just because I had that bit of handmade paper lying around, and it went with the teal in this owl and the teal on these sequins. So lots of fun. This paper and this paper are Hambly screen prints, and they're sadly no longer in business. Okay, so put that aside. This was for Simple Stories Saturday, and I used several older Simple Stories collections and then some newer ones. Most of my Simple Stories stash lately, the recent Simple Stories, comes from Mind the Scrap kits. I also used some some photo corners from Bramble Fox, and some flare from Dottie, and just, I for some reason love this page. This flower pot, I had forgotten that the kids had painted that for me, and it makes me happy looking at it. It fell apart. I think the only thing holding it together was the paint at some point, but what a memory. Both the day that they painted it and just planting things in it and growing them for several years after. Okay, this was for Scrap Backwards and Scrap Squad Sunday. I combined the two last week and released it early in Scrap Squad and later in Scrap Backwards. It's using my Scrap Backwards kit. I've got a couple photos of plants. This was the lift that I did, and I used that paper alphas and fussy cutting thing again. And those paper alphas and a lot of the embellishments are from She Blooms, which is an illustrated faith collection from Bella Boulevard. And this one is a Stash Dive Tuesday, and I didn't do a lift. I just kind of grabbed stash that was on my table. I had a 6x8 pad that came in a Mind the Scrap kit. This Obed Marshall paper came from Mind the Scrap. These embellishments and this frame, I think, came from a Mind the Scrap kit. And then I had some beach stuff out. This is a fernwood, and that's a fernwood butterfly or moth. I'm stacking flare here. Those are abstract. This is a color study. I cut that from a color study paper. So there's a whole slew of random things on here, and the sequins are, I forget. They might have been just ones that were on my table. This one is you might think it's a mixed media frenzy, because clearly that's what it looks like. This was the inspiration piece from Pinterest, and this is what I made of it for Off the Board. And Off the Board is a series that once a month a bunch of us get together and bring our Pinterest pins to life. And I had a blast with this. I used, what did I use on here? I think all of this is Dina Wakley gloss spray. And then lots of stenciling and stamping. So there's a video. There are videos for most of these, so you can check that out. This one is my guest design page. I used another Sikorsky Scraps sketch for this one, this grid that has the little L-shaped and that defining the corners. I love that design. And I had selected, when they asked me to help them celebrate, when Scrapbook Your Joy is who we were celebrating, and when they asked me to guest design for them, I was just over the top excited. And then they asked what collection I'd like to use. I said Beach Party by Cartabella. I had just seen a little blurb about it, and I hadn't seen very many of the papers. So when it arrived, I just went nuts. I love that orangey color, and I matted my photos in it, and I actually added red and even kind of a corally pink color in here and there. And these are Puerto Rico pictures of James and Katie. And you talk about seeing mistakes. I see that I could use an embellishment right here to cover up the fact that these didn't actually meet in a corner. But who cares? Who's counting? So everything on here came in the collection kit that they sent me. The collection kit that had the papers and the stickers, and then there was a frame ephemera pack, and a floral ephemera pack, and a sticker sheet, and some enamel dots. So I used and chipboard. I even used chipboard there. So I used some off of every single thing that they sent me, and I could have used more. You know me and my more is more style. I could have piled lots more onto this page. And here is, what was this one done for? This might have been done for this past Thursday's Challenge Accepted and Punched Out Thursday. And this is the Sikorsky Scrap sketch that Challenge Accepted was using. Shannon and I both used that same sketch, and our pages came out so different. And I was using Paige Evans' Splendid for this, which had just arrived that day in the mail. So I die cut with a die I've used a lot, but look, the cuts look completely different because I cut it out of foiled paper from the paper pad. And I cut these too. These are a Bramble Fox die, and then these are a Cottage Cuts die. And even these little floral sequins are in the Paige Evans Splendid collection. I used a blue one there and an orange one there and orange and a blue there. So I love that page. There is a video for that. And, okay, that's why I didn't know that was Stash Dive Tuesday, was because I had pulled this away. That Stash Dive Tuesday did use a sketch. It actually was using this sketch number 8 for autumn. So that one I said might be number 8 wasn't. This is for Mixed Media Mayhem, and it's this week who we were lifting was this fabulous artist, otherwise known as Scrappy Kathy. It's one of mine that I did in 2019 when Ava was going through chemo, and she loved this photo because she loved how her hair looked. And when I did this page, she was losing that hair. So I made it made a homemade dream catcher by die cutting some feathers. I put a unicorn there because she loved unicorns when she was little. And I wrote, "This will be over and you'll be a kid again, except wiser and stronger." And using the exact same sprays, but in different colors, I chose Astros colors and did like an Astros jersey kind of an effect on my background for a photo of Patrice and me at an Astros game last weekend, a week ago today as I'm filming this, and this will be published on that day. We were posing in front of a Mickey Mouse, and a nice gentleman came along and asked if we wanted him to take our picture. So I stamped some baseball icons and left them in black and white because there was so much color elsewhere. I had some vinyl Mickey Mouse stickers and this little you and me thing kind of sitting on my desk. And I wrote, "Take me out to the ball game," and made the title fun. So completely different page, but clearly, influenced by my previous page. So that's it for the week. I have done a few that I can't show you. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of one that will be going live tomorrow. There you go. That was a sneak. That again uses Paige Evans Splendid. So like I said, I think most of these have videos, and the titles are fun. Having so much fun. Sun and Fun and PR. Too Much Perfection. Life with You is a Grand Adventure. It's Not Spring. Simply Magical. Scary. Not So Scary. I forget what this one is. Life in Pictures. And Wild Soul, and My Beautiful World. So, look, I always title my videos by the title of the layout, and then I tell you what challenge and other information. So, thank you for watching. I will be putting this up later, like on Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow for Scrap Squad Sunday. Bye.